All right, peeps, things are picking up on the Nintendo Switch and RPG front. We've got a Bandai Namco classic RPG reciting here, in addition to Monolith Soft, their culture, what makes them tick, and how that contributes to what they're going to do next. We've got some surprise announcements from Evo, in addition to a Hunter x Hunter game reveal as well. But before we get into all that, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now let's go ahead and first jump into the information on Bandai Namco's potentially next big remaster for the Tales of franchise. So this is a rumor at this point, but it does seem like it's happening. I first saw this from Wario64. It was also on Reddit. Tales of Xillia Remastered is apparently coming to the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox systems, and the Nintendo Switch, and it may have leaked by Czech Slovak retailers, though they are all owned by one company. Now, the cover arts that you guys are seeing are not final, but apparently listings have unique EANs, the European article number, registered to Bandai Namco. So that does lead credence that this is actually happening. Now, for those that are out of the loop, Tales of Xillia, a PlayStation 3 RPG in the Tales of franchise, and it's received okay. There are people that love it. There are people that are like, should have been something else, maybe a different game. But it's still a game that, from what I understand, had some issues with delisting, or has had issues with delisting. So maybe this is the reason why it was when it comes down to the PlayStation 3 version, and they are remastering it and bringing it out. Now, there's still Tales of Xillia 2, so maybe this is a collection, or maybe there's more to it than this. Not really sure at this point, but right now it does seem like Tales of Xillia Remastered is going to be a thing based off of this information here. But it would have been cool. Hopefully it's Tales of Xillia 1 and 2 together. But based off of what Bandai Namco's done before in the past, I mean, Tales of Symphonia didn't get its sequel bundled with it as a remaster, and the remaster wasn't even the best of quality. So you can get excited if you're a big Tales of Xillia fan, but also reserve until we actually see what's happening. Now, I do feel, based off of what happened with Tales of Symphonia Remastered, that Bandai Namco is obviously cognizant of what happened and will probably do a bit better with this game. And I'm not exactly sure how the code is at this point, or at least the condition of the code from the PlayStation 3. They do not port the games over much or remaster them much, so hopefully it's not in somewhat shambles or an issue like we saw with Tales of Symphonia, where the GameCube code was nowhere to be found, or they couldn't do anything with it, or something happened, and then it ended up being 30 frames all throughout, all the way up even to this point, because that original 60 FPS GameCube code is somehow MIA. So let's hope that this is better in terms of how it's handled, and I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, the learning experiences with Tales of Symphonia Remastered will actually improve what's happening with Tales of Xillia Remastered. Now, they've already done multiple remasters before. I mean, we did get Tales of Vesperia Remastered, Tales of Symphonia Remastered, so this is very likely to see Tales of Xillia, especially with the delisting a little bit ago. Now, I would love to see the classic PlayStation 3, GameCube, PS2, PS1, anytime that we get a classic RPG coming back, this is good news. It's a win for gamers, even if it's not quite up to maybe what people would expect, or even if it's like, okay, there's some issues here and there. It's better than having it being stuck on platforms that aren't supported as much, or people just can't get a hold of. So I hope they get this done. Let's hope it's quality. I think it's definitely going to happen based off the information that we have seen here, and based off of Bandai Namco's track record with the Tales of games and remastering. So I think it's going to happen, and I hope, or maybe we'll see something else. I see people in the comment section on Twitter saying they're hoping for a translation of Tales of Innocence from the Vita, or Tales of Grace's F, because we didn't get those, or they're not necessarily as easy to get a hold of. And yeah, I agree. I think that these old school Vita games and some of these old DS games, 3DS games, you got to bring all of them over. I know it's not easy. You just can't snap your fingers and they get done. But I do feel that for the gamers' sake, it would be good if we got these games brought over. But this is the start, right? Let's see how Tales of Xillia does. And from what I understand, there's no sales numbers or anything, but from what I understand from some people I've been talking to, apparently Tales of Symphonia Remastered did okay for what it was and the budget that they put into the game. So there you go. So they're obviously making some money off of it, which can go back into investing into bringing more of these Tales of games over. So what are your thoughts overall when it comes to Tales of Xillia Remastered and the rumor? Let me know in the comment section below. But we are now going to move over to the next topic and something that I'm very passionate and excited about, and that's Monolith Soft, their next game, their work environment, positive culture, and all of that, because it's not just contained within Monolith Soft. Other companies see the goatness, see the awesomeness, see the work that they do, and they want to aspire to get that for their studios, because a lot of times people think it's just money that makes a great game. And don't get me wrong, money's important. You got to be able to pay your people for a good amount of time in order to get a good product out. But work culture, the attitudes of the people there, the happiness, that can actually create a better game than just sheer money. And we've seen it time and time and time again. If the people working there aren't into it with their heart, you might get a subpar product despite spending millions upon millions of dollars on said thing. Whereas developers that are happy, maybe they're not making as much money, maybe they don't sell as much, but if the culture and the happiness is there, they're going to create a product that they're passionate about, and it's going to be better overall. This is just something that is facts when it comes to games. So this is what we're talking about when it comes to Monolith Soft. So Hirohide Sugiura, one of the founders of Monolith Soft, has weighed in a little bit back about the company's work environment. Nintendo Everything Writes. Now this comes from the company brochure 2024, which published different interviews and more. Now in one part of the interview, the founder was asked about Monolith Soft's strengths, and he pointed to the company's work environment, focusing on work-life balance and more. Here's what he had to say, quote, "The fact that we have prepared an environment that people can relax and work easily in. One characteristic of Monolith Soft is our work environment for things such as overtime pay calculated by the minute or easily approved paid leave outside of busy times, which are now standard in the gaming industry. We have implemented such measures fairly early on. We have even had other companies in the industry ask us for advice on how to execute these measures." Now, I want to go into that a little bit more because that's exactly what I was talking about here. When people are able to secure time to spend with family or live leisurely, that allows them to focus on their work. Since everyone is then able to think more about improving their work performance, we have been able to get estimates on development schedules much easier than in the past. Also, we have gathered many more people who share our views on work-life balance, making this part of our foundation, which is a great asset. So this is exactly what every company should aspire to be. Now, not every company in terms of divisions within Nintendo have this. There are some that are a bit more strenuous than others, but they've been making strides over the course of time. And this spreads to everybody in the industry. We've heard about the crazy crunch, the Mario time crunch, the crunch that Nintendo's had before in the past, the crunch that other developers have had like Naughty Dog and all of that. It's something. But Monolith Soft is one of those companies where you constantly see where the development, you don't really hear anything negative coming out of the studio. And if you look at what happened with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, their biggest game to date overall in terms of overarching story and everything like that, that game was actually ready ahead of time and was held on and then was announced a release window and then moved up. So they didn't crunch at all. The game was done and complete. There was no crunch in order to get that done. It was done when it was done, and then Nintendo said, okay, we're gonna slot it in here at this point. That is a good thing, and you can tell the game is made with love and care, and there's just something about it that you don't always see in the biggest games in the industry, the biggest AAA titles. This is very important, and I get it. Like, you've got to get work done. Everybody has deadlines. It's not like you can just say, oh, just put in whenever you want and just come here whenever you want. I get that, but I do feel that when you foster this type of environment, you're going to get a better product. You're going to get people staying there longer. It's going to save you money in the long run because you don't have constant turnover, and you're going to get people that are excited and dedicated, and you're going to build your brand and build your game based off of that. And that positive workflow, that positive energy in the ethos is going to pay dividends overall in the future. And that's what Monolith Soft has been able to craft over the past 2 decades plus, making games, but especially flourishing under Nintendo and the Xenoblade games. So to me, this spells awesome and incredible things for Monolith Soft in the future. This love, this passion, this energy, this work culture is going to spill in to the next game that they make. And it's going to be a revolutionary type of game for Monolith Soft and RPG fans out there. This game that they're doing for the Nintendo Switch 2, the successor, is going to be something everyone in the industry is going to take note of. They're going to point at it and say, okay, hold up, this is something important, just because I have the utmost confidence and faith in what Monolith Soft has been able to deliver before with their games. Anybody who's played the Xenoblade trilogy of games and played Xenoblade Chronicles X knows exactly what I'm talking about overall. Many companies do great things. Many companies do awesome stuff. Many companies mess up and make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and I'm not condemning any other company more so than anything else, but I just feel that Monolith Soft gets it overall. Not only do they do a great job with support and fostering that work culture, but they also create experiences that are just beloved and so finely tuned and crafted in terms of passion. So I have to give them props for this, and I'm very excited to see what they do next, because I think this will absolutely make whatever they're working on next be the best it can possibly be on hardware that's really going to take advantage of what Monolith Soft is really good at, in building these elaborate, lush, and awesome worlds to just get lost in. And so very excited to see what they're doing next, and I'm super happy to hear people at Monolith Soft are getting it done in and out of work in terms of work-life balance. It's very, very important. So awesome stuff there, but we are going to move on to the next topic, and we've got a surprise fighting game announcement. SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos. It's coming to the PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, and I know, guys, no Xbox version. Once again, I get it. Pipeline, whatever. They can't get it done. I'm not really sure what's going on. But yes, no Xbox version, just like the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Now, let's talk about this. Shout outs to Gematsu for the write-up. So a re-release of SNK and Capcom crossover fighting game SNK vs. Capcom SVC Chaos is now available for PC via Steam, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC via GOG on July 22nd. The PC version did come out a couple of days ago, but yeah, everything's out now at this point, so that's awesome. So let's get more into this game, because I did not play this game back in the day, and I don't even remember this game. I'm pretty sure I saw it in a magazine or something, but I don't remember it. So SNK vs. Capcom SVC Chaos was originally released for the arcades in July 2003 before being ported to Neo Geo AES in November 2003, PlayStation 2 in December 2003, and Xbox in September 2004, which, once again, it was on the original OG Xbox, but okay, it is what it is. So let's get into it here. Here's an overview. Iconic characters from SNK and Capcom in a timeless face-off. Choose from a legendary roster of 36 SNK and Capcom fighters. SNK's fighting game staples like Kyo Kunisagi, Terry Bogard, and Mai are joined by Mars People, Athena, and other Neo Geo era icons. Meanwhile, battle-hardened combatants such as Ryu, Chun-Li, Dimitri stand tall with Zero, Red, and more to make up the Capcom fighting roster. A modernized online experience. Rise up and throw down with players all around the world as rollback netcode and online lobbies for up to 9 players. Bring SVC Chaos to a new era of fighting game fans. Play tournaments your way by choosing from single elimination, double elimination, and round robin formats. You have the precise collision and gallery modes to perfect the SVC Chaos experience. Other quality of life improvements include a hitbox viewer, granting players an in-depth look at each character's collision areas, and rich gallery mode showcasing 80 plus pieces of artwork, including key art and character portraits. So this is pretty cool. Once again, this is a game that I had no idea about. I'm almost positive I saw it in a Game Informer or Game Pro magazine back in the day, but I kind of just flipped through it as I wasn't really playing those type of games a ton outside of Street Fighter Third Strike and some of the Street Fighter Alpha games. Those were kind of my things in addition to Smash Brothers. At that time, Smash Melee was still very, very big. So that's kind of what I was playing at that point. So, and I wasn't really going to the arcades as much as I was in the 90s and all of that, so it just wasn't something that I really played. So it's pretty cool, not something that I'm super interested in checking out, just because the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection is coming out, should be coming out sometime soon, if not already announced when it comes to EVO. So that's coming out, and that's where my attention is really focused on when it comes to traditional 2D fighting games, Marvel vs. Capcom. But this is cool. It's a cool surprise. People are excited to get this game, and it's good to once again bring back any of these old PS2, Xbox, old arcade games. Bring them back, get them out, update them, modernize with rollback netcode. It's only a good thing when it comes down to it. So I'm very happy for fans of the franchise with this. So what do you guys think? You can let me know in the comment section, but we do have one more topic here, and I had to get into it because it's Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact. We've got new characters announced and the opening movie, so this is so cool. I was talking about this recently on the Spawncast as well, and my own live stream. So yeah, man, I'm super excited for Hunter x Hunter. I'm a big fan. For those who don't know, I love Hunter x Hunter. It's one of my top 5 favorite animes of all time, right up there with Naruto and Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho and stuff like that. So Hunter x Hunter is absolutely incredible. And now we've got some new characters added into the mix. And I'm going to tell you guys why you should be excited for this, because this game is not your typical anime fighting game. So Maroom, who is awesome in the anime, he will be added as a playable character in Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact. And sorry if I mispronounce any of the names here as well. Publishers Arc System Works and Bushiroad Games, and developer Aiding, keyword aiding on there, which we'll get to in just a bit, has announced. Now, the opening movie was also released, which was really cool. So here's a little bit of an overview of Maroom, who's voiced by his original voice actor as well. So despite being a power-up type character, Maroom possesses a variety of skills, including instant movement techniques and attacks using his strong tail reach, which allows him to initiate attacks under any circumstance. Now, Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact is due out for the PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam sometime in 2024. And they've been trying their best to balance this game out, clean it up. They've had some extra footage that has went live at EVO. People have been able to check it out, and it seems like it's pretty good so far. The impressions are it's a fast-paced Marvel vs. Capcom 3 style of fighting game, which makes sense because Aiding, the developers of this game, did work on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and they were the developers behind my favorite anime fighting game series of all time, the Naruto Clash of Ninjas series, which started on the GameCube and went to the Wii and ended up just being canned because Bandai Namco has pretty much the exclusive license for Naruto fighting games on console, and that's very unfortunate because Clash of Ninja is awesome and Aiding is awesome. They've been around for decades creating and helping to support some of the best fighting games out there. So I'm very excited for this. I think Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, obviously the graphics aren't anything super crazy. They don't look as good as Dragon Ball Sparking or Dragon Ball Fighters or some of the other games out there, but I think that the gameplay can be just as good or will be just as good or right up there, or maybe even better based on what you like, right? Obviously you have a 2D fighting game like this. It's not going to be able to compete with the money-wise overall with some of these other big Dragon Ball Z or even Naruto fighting games out there. But I think that the developers and the talent behind the team is what's really going to make this not necessarily the biggest fighting game out there, but a fighting game that does have a bit of a dedicated core audience to it. A really good 2D fighting game. We've seen that that can do well. Dragon Ball Fighters did really well. Obviously, Hunter x Hunter is nowhere near as popular as Dragon Ball Fighters, but there's still quite a number of fans, and there's probably people that want to play a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 fighting game, so this can be kind of it as well, even if you're not necessarily into Hunter x Hunter as much. So what do you guys think overall, man? This was a packed Nintendo Switch and RPG news from Tales of Xillia, Monolith Soft, SNK versus Capcom, more versus series, and of course Hunter x Hunter. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch and RPG videos right here on screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.